Well, hey, welcome back, everybody. And yeah, in an entirely different part of Nevada, as always. You guys are used to me saying it by now, but it's kind of a neat spot. We're up here in the hills. You can see old Bob down there in the bottom. Right now we're standing on a waste rock pile. Off in the distance out there, way up on the side of the hill. And I don't know if we're going to be able to get to that. Maybe it's going to take some hiking to get to it. We'll find out. But in the meantime, turning around here, we have ourselves a small little adit with a small waste rock pile. Let's see what this one's all about. And as always, you get a bunch of erosion and slough here at the portal. Okay, well, I'm going to leave the walking stick out here. Let's see if we can make our way past the welcome sign. And hopefully, I'm going to try my best not to touch the back of the mine. There we go. We don't need any more dirt sloughing on our heads. There we go. Wow, this one is big. It's probably 4 feet across on the floor. Shoot, at least 6.5 feet tall. With a distinct smell of pack rat. And look here on the wall, see we're burrowing through a bunch of alluvium. Okay. Look at this vein off to the left here. I really wouldn't call it a vein. You're getting a bunch of mineral seepage coming in down through this fault line. There's some coyote dung on the floor. Maybe we'll get in here and spook a coyote. Wouldn't that be fun? Oh, look at all the layering. Look at the layers here. Here, I'll switch out lights. Oops, there we go. Kind of like it's candy striped. Okay, continuing on. A little bit of a collapse up in here. And an old Coca-Cola. Let's see, is it from the 70s? Let's take a look. Coca-Cola Peel of Fortune. Oh, I remember that game. Yeah, that was from the 80s, I believe. Yeah, okay. Let's go up in here where the pack rat nest is, and that's going to be the face. Okay, turn back around. Yeah, I like those layers. That's kind of neat. Big. Boy, the boys that dug this out, they were ambitious. Goodness. Okay. Let's work our way back up the sloughed out section here. There we go. And try to climb past the barbed wire. Okay. All right, well, let's see if we can't find a road that gets closer to that big one out there in the distance. I'll meet you out there. Okay, back again, folks. Didn't drive too far from that last adit. Just worked the road down this direction. And now we're up here to the very first adit. Now on my map it shows a stringer of 9 adits all the way across the face of this hill. So this would be number 1, I'm guessing. So I'm going to jump into the fancy equipment and I'll meet back up with you in a moment. We'll head on inside. Be back in a bit. All right, folks, let's explore this old mine. And each and every one has a different sized waste rock pile. So we could be getting into some big ones, some small ones. We'll just have to find out. All right. Let me get past all this crumbly stuff. There we go. Ah, nice and cool in here. I like that. It's hot outside today. And here they're working through a bunch of that granite, decayed granite. Let's see if we can find out what they were trying to intersect. Okay. They started a little bit of a drift going off to the left and quit. And what do we have here? It's either a winze or an ore pass. That could very well be an ore pass. So we may find something, because if it was a winze, then we'd have some sort of a couple of pieces of wood right here going down so that they can use a winch and bring up the buckets of ore to this level. So this may go down to another level. We'll have to search around further on down the hill and see if that meets up with something. But in the meantime, let's keep going this way. And does it shoot to the left? Yes, it does. Look at this fault wall off to our right here. Somebody was in here doing some surveying. 175 feet is what it says on that tag. We're at the 200 foot. And it just keeps on going. All right. And we're at another ore pass. Well, no. It started off to be an ore pass. Let's look over here. Just a small little stope. And you see those little stringer veins up in there? I'll point them out to you. There's one running right there that they have tagged. There's one running there. Okay. Oh wow, from the size of the waste rock pile outside, I wouldn't have guessed that this would have been this large. Oh, and I spoke too soon. There's the back of the mine. at 200 and, what does it say here? 285 feet in. Okay. All right, well, I'll just meet you folks back outside, and we will continue along to the next adit. All right, I'll meet you out there. All right, worked ourselves further on up the hill, and here we have number 2. Right there. With a whole bunch of really ugly hanging rock right over the portal. So let's see if I can well, I'll try to skinny down in here, folks. Put the backpack there. First thing I need to do is get past the barbed wire here. Give me just a moment. Yeah, that's just my breath. Oh, shush. Well, maybe he'll be quiet pretty soon. There we go. Okay. Let's see, I'm gonna have to this is a very tight fit. There we go. Okay. Oh shoot, we're not even gonna need the backpack for this one, folks. Okay. Oh, knock it off. Like I was saying, some of these are gonna be big and some are gonna be small. But they did get back up in here and we're starting to work out a stoped area there. And that's it. Okay. Short and sweet. I'll just meet you folks back outside. See you out there. Okay, now we're up to the third adit in this series. There's somebody's claim post and a duct taped, they duct taped their paperwork to it. Okay. Oh, well, at least this opening's a little bit bigger. Let me get some of these rocks out of our way. There we go. Okay, well, let's see what this one's all about. Lots of loose rock here at the entrance, as always, and all right, let's hang out here for just a moment. Yeah, that was just my breath again. I promise you folks, I'm going to relocate that thing. Okay, what do we have here? Oh, it goes in and makes a sharp bend to the right. Very good. And we've got a backfill drift up and to the right there, and right back there is as far as it goes. Okay. Looking left. What do we have here? I wonder where all this rock came from. Oh, goes out into that stoped out area up there. And that is it. That's going to be the end of this one, folks. Okay. Again, short and sweet. A little bit longer than the last one. All right, I'll meet you folks back outside. I'll head on over to the next one. See you over there. Okay, back again, folks. I don't know how I missed this one, but I did. But we've got an adit here right next to the road. And I actually drove over the top of it with old Bob getting here. Yeah, I looked off to my right and I saw that big waste rock pile. And I'm like, wow, look at the size of that waste rock pile. That's all got to be coming from somewhere. And indeed it does. Right there. We got a whole bunch of cool air blowing out of here. So, there's a little bit of loose rock up here at the portal, but I think I can shimmy down that. Okay. Let's see. I'm gonna have to go feet first and, there. Okay, I'm gonna have to, it's pretty narrow here. Give me a moment here, folks, because I gotta slide, literally slide on my back. Oh, goodness gracious. Oh, ouch, that's gonna leave a mark. Ow. Okay, we're getting there, little by little. Just keep sliding down. There we go. Okay. Okay. Give me just a moment, folks. I gotta put my backpack back on. Yeah, this one should go in a ways because the waste rock pile outside is pretty good sized. Well, at one time they were in here working it. Bunch of PVC pipe laying on the floor. Okay. And I am feeling a breeze coming towards us. That's always nice. That means we've got good fresh air in this mine. I had a small little collapse right there. Oh, it peeled off from the ribs. Oh yeah, look at the faulting here. See that on the right hand side? Okay, we have a choose wisely. Cool. We can go left or right. Well, for now, let's just observe the right-hand rule. We do have some sort of a vein on the right side of the ribs there. See that? Either that or it's just calcification and mineral seepage. But they are following, look what's up here on the back of the mine. It's more of it. It does seem like they're following that vein right there. Oh, come on, turn the corner. I hope it turns the corner. Yes, it does. Good. Oh, we spent the better part of the first quarter of this episode crawling through baby adits. I want to see a big boy. Oh, here we go. There's a stoped out section there. Very nice. And a little drift running off. We have another choose wisely, left or right. Well, this drift just goes right up here and quits, but we'll take a look at it. That is as far as it goes. Okay. Nice. Getting musty now. Must be coming into some water. Yep. Getting real musty. And what do we have here? We've got another little stoped out area, which was kind of sort of an ore pass. And the mine still keeps going this way. So let's keep going this way. Yep, it's getting super musty, folks. I gotta set the camera down for a second. It's time to relocate the monitor. There we go. And put it down around by my ankle. And we have another choose wisely. Left or right? Wow. Well, we're going to keep on going right. A little drift going that way. And it keeps on going. I knew we must be getting into a big mine. What do we have here? We must be getting into a stoped out area. Look at this, the whole back of the mine collapsed right here at this junction. Yeah. Yes, it did. It just failed quickly. Oh yeah, it's nothing but decomposing granite. All right, so wait a second. I think that may go back over there and make a right-hand turn, folks. Let's go find out. Yes, it does, but it stops right there. Okay. Turning back around, let's make our way and that's all that one went to. It was right over there. Okay, let's get out from underneath this ugly looking collapse. There we go. Okay, I'll be back in just a moment, folks. Okay, continuing on. I just really needed to take a drink of water. Okay, what we're doing now is we're working our way back to that last junction, or as I like to call them, our last choose wisely. And now we're going to head off this direction. And we've got another junction. Okay. Right hand rule again. Boy, this mine is a real spaghetti bowl. So some of you are maybe asking in the audience, well, aren't you afraid of getting lost? No. As long as you observe the right hand rule on your way back, or on your way in and your way back out, you'll never get lost. Oh, here we've got there's a big area that failed, and it goes to right there and stops. Ooh, look at all that faulting and slick and slide above our heads there. Yeah, I'm not going to crawl over the top of that, folks. That's too darn dangerous. Very unstable. That's an area that should be timbered. Okay, let's head back. Let's head back to the junction here. See here we have another collapse. Fell down from that material because that water is getting into this porous decaying granite and causing it to fail. All right, let's go back to our last junction, which was right over here. Yep, this is that ore pass that goes up there. Looks like they were just working out a stoped area and sliding the material down. Yeah. Okay. Working our way back to the last junction. There's the beer bottle, see? So that's how I know we're not lost. Okay. I'm just taking you folks with me as we work our way back out rather quickly. I'd say it's probably around 65, 63 degrees in here. It's just beautiful. I do believe we had one more junction right here. Coming in, we didn't go left. Yep. And all it did was what? It just goes up to, oh yeah, some sort of, it's just a raise right here. And they were stoping that out. Okay. That's all that it was. Okay, headed back over in the top of that rib slab there. And there's all of our PVC pipe. And so ends that tour of this mine. All right, folks, I'll meet you back outside. See you out there. All right, folks, back outside, but oh, I'm gonna have a big old bruise on my love handle. Ouch. Wait a second, mine explorers aren't supposed to have love handles. Yeah, well, I do. And I caught the corner of that rock. Oh, I'm gonna have a big old black and blue mark. So, well, I'm glad we got down here and saw that waste rock pile off here to the right. Otherwise, I would have never thought that there was a big mine right there underneath the road. Okay, well, it's back to old Bob, and we got to get down in the valley here because there's another big waste rock pile further on down. Let's go see what that's all about. I'll meet you down there. All right, folks, back again. Good news. Another significant mine. And this one must be pretty good size, because they sure went through a whole lot of trouble putting this road in up to it. And then right now we're standing on a really big waste rock pile. Let me show it to you real quick here. All right, that's what we have. So they did a little bit of timbering here to shore up all this alluvium, but that's definitely something we can get down into. Okay, let me go grab the fancy camera and I'll be back in a second. Okay folks, let's explore this old mine. And once again, I've got to crawl into that. I will take you with me. First of all, I gotta sit down. There we go. Because, see, once again, I have to lay on my back to get under this. It's only probably a 18-inch gap here. All right, fat boy, you can do it. Yeah, sorry about that, folks. I know I think I bumped the camera there. All right. We had a bunch of timbering here at the portal. Very good. Let's shoot back up in there and see what we have. All right. Let's continue on. Nice big mine. Again, at least 4 feet across on the floor, 6 feet tall. Look at this faulting right there. Look how nice and smooth that is. Right there. Yeah, that's what you get when you have when the mountains are uplifting. Each one of those layers are sliding up against each other. Really musty in here, folks. All right, so what do we have? Well, they were starting to drift off to the left. And, oh, don't tell me this can't be it. Come on. We got a big collapse here. That's really ugly. Eek. All right, let's see where this goes. Does it keep on going? But all it did is go up into just into a stoped out area, and that's it. That's as far as she goes, folks. Well, I wouldn't have guessed that at all. Not at all. Huh. You can kind of see the vein right in through here. They might have been going after. I'm not sure. It does look like limonite working its way right. Let me point it out to you. Right there. Up through this. Well, I'll be darned. I had high hopes for this one. Especially taking into consideration all the timbering they did up front there. Just a bunch of old lumber and sticks. Huh. You just never know. You You just never know until you get into them. Well, that's okay, because we got one more in this valley. So let's work our way back out of this one. I like this timbering. Looks like it was put in here fairly recently, and then they packed in a bunch of gobbing in behind it. Yeah, there's another big waste rock pile further on up the valley, so I'm going to skinny through that little hole again. I'll meet you folks back outside, and we'll head on up to that next one. See you out there. All right, folks, back outside. Made it through the tight squeeze. Yeah, I expected a whole lot more from that mine. I mean, like I was saying, taking into consideration the size of the waste rock pile behind me, good golly, that thing's huge. But it just goes back up into that stoped up area. I wasn't about to climb up into that stoped area. You know, stoped areas are really, really unstable. There's a lot of hanging rock in there, and that's a good place to get slabbed. And I want to be around a little while longer to keep doing this for you guys. That's why you don't see me crawl, or too often crawl into stoped out areas, just because of that reason. Oftentimes, if you look back into mining history and look at all the different reports on the accidents, a lot of deaths were caused from miners working in those stoped areas when great big slabs of rock come falling down off the ceiling. Well, heck, you saw those collapses in there. I mean, those things just give way all at once, and that's that. So, all right, like I was saying, we've got one more further on up this valley, and then that's going to have to do it for today, because there's no more in this location. So I'll hop back into Old Bob, and we'll head on up that direction. I'll meet you up there. All right, folks, worked my way further on up the road, and if you look up here through the trees, way up there you can see the waste rock pile. But I think we're on somebody's active mining claim. We've got a campsite here with fresh cut firewood right there. They had little table things set up right there. Over this direction, they even made themselves a little potty bucket. I'll show it to you since I'm right here. Yeah, there you got your honey bucket right there, and a blind so people can't see you doing your business. And then over here, and this is what makes me believe it's probably an active mining claim. The folks hid some of their supplies underneath that camo tarp right there. Yeah, I'm not going to lift that up and see what's underneath there. It's none of my business. It's probably just camping supplies that they didn't want to drag off the mountain. So, yeah, what we need to do is, at least I don't think there's any roads going up there. We're going to have to hike up to the waste rock pile to see what that's all about. So I'll meet you up there. All right, folks, made it. Had to billy goat halfway up this hill to get here. And now the interesting thing about this mine is there's no roads that get to this location. So makes you wonder how the miners got all their equipment up and over all this granite cobble. Yeah, I mean, there's no road, there's no trail, at least nothing that I found. But anyways, pretty spectacular view from up here Unfortunately, I can't turn around and show it to you guys because, like I was saying earlier, I think that this is probably somebody's claim. So, got to be careful not to reveal the location. But let's see what it's all about, shall we? Oh yeah. Yeah, we can get down into that. That's nice and easy. Okay, I'm gonna go grab the fancy camera. I'll be right back. Okay, folks, let's explore this old mine. And it is definitely gonna be the last mine of the day, because I am pooped. Oh, here we have a rock that's, yep, best to let that one tumble down. Okay, just got to get on the other side of this. Give me just a second. There we go. Okay, well, now I know where all of that granite came from out there on the waste rock pile. Look at the granite they were blasting their way through on this one. Let's shoot up in there real quick. Oh boy, long ways. Okay, so we're just in the haulage at it here, so I'm gonna go pretty quick. And once again, it's getting all musty right at this point. Give me just a second, folks. Got to relocate the monitor. There we go. What do we have here? Number 2 drift. Still got some loose rock falling down on the floor from the ribs. If you guys notice, at one time they did have vent in here. See, they were hanging see these hangers? They were hanging their ventilation on those hangers, or compressor lines. There's a big number 3 right there. And it just keeps on going. We are walking across a bunch of cross ties. At one time they did have rail here. We have here number 5. Oh, there's a mouse. I don't know if you saw the mouse. They were going after something down there. There's another mouse. He's up on the wall over there. See him? What are you doing, Mr. Mouse? What? Where are you going? All right, we can follow you to your house. You gonna show us your house? Up here in this drift, huh? Yeah. What's your name, Mickey? He's like, quit following me because you got me trapped. He doesn't seem to be too nervous. All right, we'll leave you alone there, buddy. Okay, let's head back down this direction. And we'll continue off this way. So what got these old boys excited to come this far back into this mountain? Yeah, there's a, let me show it to you. Oh boy, blackout. There. They have a tag right along that vein right there. Looks like September 1st, 2018. Yeah. We're definitely in someone's mind. But if you're the owner and you're watching this, we're just documenting it. We're not here to take anything or steal any of your gold. Wow, this thing just keeps on going and going. Now we're coming back into the workings. Okay. Yep. Let's see what they're going after. I got a raise right here. They were chasing after some ore. And, okay, gotta get underneath this little spot right here without touching that wood. There we go. Yeah, we're definitely in an area where they're working here. Trying to figure out what kind of material we're looking at. It kind of looks like andesite. Let's take a closer look here. Oh, it's all clay. It's all wet, sticky. Like it's like mud. That is why it is so damp in here. Okay, let's continue on. It still keeps on going. And around the corner it goes. Where it stops, nobody knows. We got a big number 6 right there. And that is it, folks. We made it to the face. Okay, turning back around. I'll be right back. Okay, folks. We are headed back out. I'll just take you with me, just in case we see something along the way, huh? See, what I'll do from time to time, I'll stop the video like that. To be quite honest with you, it just makes it easier in editing. It's easier to edit shorter stretches of film. Okay, and we're working our way back through this sketchy section. Wouldn't surprise me if these guys they're up in here with metal detectors trying to find maybe some stringer gold or some nuggets. Okay, and work our way past that the owners are probably watching this video and saying, you wouldn't believe how much gold you just walked right past. Well, I'm not here for the gold. I'm just here to document. I've had my taste of gold fever in the 90s. It is a lot of fun when you shut your sluice off at the end of the day. The water kind of starts to slowly roll down into a trickle. And then you see it. All that shiny laying up there in the nugget traps. That's enough to get any man excited. And here we can see the portal way, way, way off into the distance. All right, I'll just meet you folks back outside. See you out there. All right, folks, made it back outside. I'm once again safe and sound. And, well, that's going to have to do it for this episode. Not that I don't want to go into any more mines, but I got to tell you, I'm done. I'm tired. That's enough. That's enough for one day. And not only that, I've got some really, really good pot roast waiting for me back at base camp in the slow cooker. Oh, I can't wait to get back there this evening. And a nice cold beverage. All right, so I'm going to get on off this mountain. And boy, I tell you what, I'd like to know how in the heck those miners got the rail and the ore carts and everything up the side of this hill, because by golly, there ain't no roads or nothing, so everything had to be packed up here by hand. Anyways, I'm going to get off this mountain. So I appreciate you coming along with me for another explore. And as always, hey, all my new subscribers, thank you so much for coming on board. I really do appreciate it. And I'm glad that you're into this sort of thing too. Okay, well, I'm going to get on out of here. Thank you so much. And I will see you again next weekend. Take care now. Bye-bye.